And on news tonight, straight to breaking news coming in. The latest is that the Sahara chief Subrata Roy will stay in jail. The hearing in the Sahara case in Supreme Court has been delayed. Meenakshi on the phone line with those details. Meenakshi, what are the details coming in?
Well, yes, this was a plea which was much anticipated, and all the Sahara councils were waiting to be heard again on the 11th, which was the earlier scheduled date for hearing at 2 p.m. But you will recall what had incidentally happened was before the scheduled date of hearing, which was on Friday, again the Sahara councils had gathered and assembled the specially constituted bench comprising Honorable Justices Radhakrishnan and Justice Tihar to hear their plea. At that point in time, the bench had gone ahead and dismissed this alternate proposal which the Sahara councils had submitted before the top court to secure early release for Subrata Roy. In the light of this background wherein the Supreme Court had already assembled, dismissed Subrata Roy's plea, and at that point in time severely criticized Subrata Roy's counsels for making the Supreme Court bench assemble before the scheduled date of hearing of 11th March around 2 p.m. We have looked up the Supreme Court website, and it's official now that the Supreme Court bench will now not be taking up Subrata Roy's plea, wherein his lawyers would have perhaps again tried to emphasize the same points before the bench to secure an early release for Subrata Roy. So essentially this means that Subrata Roy's plea will be taken up by the Supreme Court in the foreseeable future at a yet to be determined date, but for now Subrata Roy's custody will very much continue.
Meenakshi, in the interim, is there any other legal measure that Subrata Roy's counsels can resort to?
Well, that will not be a probability because let's bear in mind the fact that there is already a Supreme Court bench which is seized of the matter. So there could be a possibility where the councils may, explore the possibility of mentioning Subrata Roy's matter before another bench. But traditionally, while a Supreme Court bench is already seized of the matter, no other bench of the Supreme Court interferes. So the only hope and respite that Subrata Roy's legal team can hope for this point in time is to have their case heard on merits, bring out alternative proposal which the Supreme Court finds meritorious, and really hope that they are able to convince the Supreme Court about the merits of their case. And really, as I'm emphasizing that in the last date of hearing, the Supreme Court had gone ahead and dismissed this alternate proposal submitted by Sahara to secure an early release for Subrata Roy, calling the proposal dishonorable. So now they have to wait their turn to be heard by the bench and then convince the bench about the merits of their case by bringing forth another proposal which could be a breakthrough proposal which the Supreme Court finds acceptable and more credible.